Good evening guys from a multi-storey car park in Portsmouth. What am I doing here? Well, I've driven down to the port because this evening we're taking a ferry over to St Malo. It's Brittany Ferries MV Bretagne, a classic ship, isn't it, this one? And it's built as a gourmet cruise. So do you want to know what that entails? Well, stick around, we're going to get on board and I'll show you. I'll catch you in a bit. The multi-storey car park is handily located inside the port entrance, just across the car lanes, and it's about a 5-minute walk from the terminal building, if that. The cost at the time of recording was £13 for every 24 hours of parking. And we'd arrived a good couple of hours before departure. Check-in desks were quiet, and it was the usual simple process of showing our documentation and obtaining our boarding cards, which also doubled as the cabin entry keys and Gourmet Cruise proof of purchase, I guess you could call it. Now, I've covered plenty of detail on the ferry terminal in my previous videos. I'll link to one here. Now, I won't go through it all again, but suffice to say that boarding for foot passengers was the usual process of passport and security checks, after which we were greeted by a proper bus which would take us on to the ferry. Well, surprised we haven't got the ambulance tonight, which is what I had last time. Nice bus actually. Yeah, let's get on board. The Gourmet Cruise is marketed by Brittany Ferries as a taste of Brittany and is one of the offers you can find on their website. I'll provide a link to that in the description below. And now, whether it's a cruise or not is debatable because it's just a regular crossing from Portsmouth to and from St Malo. However, you do get a 3-course dinner in their a la carte restaurant on the first night, and you also get lunch at a renowned restaurant in St Malo, and you get a full breakfast on the return leg back to Portsmouth. Also included is 2 nights accommodation in an inside cabin, which is upgradable for a small additional cost. Oh, it took an age to find the cabin. I think it's because it depends what stage you got, really, but here we are, 8004, so we're going to have a look in. Have you got the card? No? I'll get it, so I'll get mine. Okay, 8004. Interestingly, yeah, 2-berth, and yeah, we're just gonna crash out here for 5 minutes, I think. There's a light on anyway. Yeah, just get rid of it, absolutely starving, and then we're going to go for dinner, which is included in the price of this ticket. I'll tell you how much that was a little bit later on. So yeah, welcome on board the MV Bretagne, and let's go and have some dinner and we'll see what it's like. Yeah, so dinner was in the Les Arbeurs restaurant at the stern of the ship on deck 7. It looked quite nice from the outside. I even put a shirt on for the occasion. Okay guys, well, we are in the a la carte restaurant, which is very nice. Apologies if there's any flicker on this film, by the way. We're sitting under a really bright light. I've tried to adjust the frame rate, so hopefully it's not too bad. But yeah, we've got a 3-course meal included with the price of our ticket tonight, so we're just going to peruse the menu and yeah, we'll show you what we decide on. Let's dig in. Okay, so having a look at the menu, the starter is the buffet, which is kind of over there, which people are helping themselves to, and then we've got several main courses. Is there a vegetarian one that you've seen?
There's this one, which is a sort of pasta thing, which seems fine.
Yeah, okay. And several other meat dishes, I guess. We've got halibut, salmon, beef, lamb. Oh, try the lamb, actually, it looks quite nice. And then you've got dessert, or cheese of dessert to finish. And the wine menu, drinks menu, yeah, well, suitably expensive, isn't it? And I don't think that's included in the price, but I'll probably try a glass anyway. And yeah, we've got various bits and pieces we'll have a look at there in a little while. So personally, as a meat eater, there was plenty of choice for the starter, and like I say, you can have as much as you want at this point.
And what have you gone for, Joe, on here as a vegetarian?
Not sure. Selection of kind of salads made from things like quinoa and rice, because quite a lot of stuff had fish and things like that in it, but it's fine.
I went back for seconds, which was a mistake, and then the main course arrived, which for me was the saddle of lamb, linguine and broccoli and sage butter, which looked really nice. Joe went for the stuffed conchiglione with mushrooms and seasoned vegetables.
Oh, okay. Well, I enjoyed mine. I didn't finish it, to be honest. Have a little look. That's just because I'm starting to get a bit full. I think I had too much to eat for a start. What do you think of yours then, Joe?
It was quite nice, but very difficult to eat out of this bowl with the steep sides. Better suited to something that you need a spoon to eat.
Yeah, it's filling though, isn't it? It's just filling.
Yeah.
And it's worth mentioning that the guy came round and offered some more bread rolls, which is great. And I think the service is quite attentive, and they asked if we've had enough to eat for our starters, and before they fetch the main course out. So we certainly don't feel rushed or anything like that. So all good so far. And now for dessert, I think we'll go and see what they've got on offer for that. Right, so dessert. Everyone's piling into the cheese board. I don't think I fancied the cheese board. Did you fancy the cheese board?
Yes, but I'm too full.
Yeah, you've eaten yours already, haven't you?
Yeah.
So I went for it's kind of we've got like a lemon meringue thing here and some like bits and pieces. Quite nice. I mean, to be honest, you can have loads of stuff. You can really eat lots if you want to. But this will do me for now, and then I will be totally full up after this. So yeah, overall, what do you think? Joe, what do you think?
I was just laughing when you said this will do me, and it's like it's only 5 puddings. Yeah, no, it's really good.
Maybe I'll share it around.
I'd have some cheese if I could, but I'm too full.
What would you give it out of 10? In interest?
I don't know. I was a bit disappointed with the main course, to be honest.
Okay, well, that's fair enough.
Apart from that,
as a vegetarian,
it's really good.
Do you find sometimes with being a vegetarian that the choice is limited, or?
It's not normally too bad, but. This was a case of if you're not a mushroom fan. It was basically mushrooms, so and not much else. So.
Well, there you go, guys. That's the verdict from the vegetarian side, which is fair comment, isn't it? Because any restaurant these days that's worth going to has to cater for all sorts of dietary requirements. I think what would I give it? I'd give mine. I'd give it 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10, and that includes service as well. I think the service is really good. It always is with Brittany Ferries. I think the crew, the staff on board, are always very good in my experience. And the food, really nice. Mine was. I liked the lamb. I couldn't finish it all, but like I said, there's plenty there to eat. So I'm going to crack on with this now, and then we're going to have a little bit more of a look around the ship. I'll catch you in a bit.
Okay, so if you do go for wine or any other additional drinks, you have to pay on the way out. We just had some water, and that was included with our meal.
Guys, just to show you there that we've actually got the old mini cruise. God, little mini cruise signs on it, and the reason they put these on, if I can ever get back into my cabin again, the reason that they put those on is because on the mini cruise, because we're coming back tomorrow, we can just leave all our mess inside the cabin, and when we go to have a look around St Malo tomorrow, we just need to take the necessary with us and leave everything else here, which is great, isn't it? Okay, right, I'm going to put a jumper on because it's pretty cold now, and we're going to go and have a look out on deck. hopefully we're somewhere down the Solent or around the east coast of the Isle of Wight. I think that's the way it normally goes. So yeah, let's go and have a look and I'll catch you outside. That is going to be, that will be the staff mess room. That, yeah.
And then there's this guy just up the corner, like looking at me.
Yeah. Look,
Can we get this way?
well, I think we can. Yeah, we're heading towards the stern. So, yeah, let's have a look. Yeah, they put these in. Maybe you can let me know in the comments below. But I think these kind of dividers here are just to stop the wind whistling down the side decks too much, and just keep it a little bit more weatherproof. Yeah, the thing with the Bretagne is there is lots of deck space. A bit quiet at this time of night, but a great ship for just wandering around on and exploring. Right guys, I'm out on deck 9, just next to the helipad there. Let's hope we don't need that tonight. And it's pretty dark out here, and I was just looking back at there over the stern, and it really doesn't take long at all for the ship to leave the confines of Portsmouth harbour. And the Spinnaker Tower has totally disappeared now, and we are well on our way. And it's a little bit cold out here, so I'm going to head back inside now, and we're going to sample the delights of the bar, I think. Let's go and have a look and see what that's like. The main bar is on deck 8, again at the stern of the ship. There was no entertainment on stage tonight, but they were playing loads of music, which will demonetise this video if I don't mute it out. Now, I've been in this place at the height of summer, and as you can imagine, it gets absolutely rammed. Prices are okay. A pint of John Smith's beer and a lemonade converted to £8.54. It was getting quite late now, and we were making steady progress south. I had another quick walk around deck before heading for the cabin and getting some rest. It was going to be an early start in the morning, and a very long day to follow that. Morning guys, it is 6:20 in the AM, and we're just off the French coast. I don't know if you can see that, but obviously it's really quite dark at the moment, and we've got about 35 minutes to run into St Malo. So a little bit earlier than I was expecting. They've just called us for breakfast, so I'm going to nip down, have a croissant, a cup of tea, something like that, try and wake myself up a little bit. Had an okay night's sleep. I think I maybe got 2 or 3 hours, something like that. See how the day progresses in terms of tiredness. But not quite sure when it starts to get light, but hopefully get some decent shots of the ship when we come into port, or maybe a little bit later on. And I'll catch you in a bit. Yes, I have to admit I'm a very light sleeper, and I don't sleep well on ships or trains, to be honest. Plus I'd eaten so much food, that probably didn't help. But what a lovely approach into St Malo, just as dawn was breaking. It really is a beautiful city, this, with the historic city walls, rocky promontories, cafes, bars and restaurants. I couldn't wait for the sun to come up, really, and go and have a bit of an explore. We docked around 07:30, which was pretty early, but enough time for breakfast. Just a light snack for us this morning, croissants, tea and coffee.
We were soon called to disembark, which was a short walk via the gangway to a waiting bus which would take us into the ferry terminal and passport control.
Right guys, so yeah, just disembarked Bretagne there, and it looks like we're getting on a bus which is just parked up here waiting to take us into town.
The ferry terminal here is, as you would expect, a lot smaller than Portsmouth, as it only serves this route plus the Condor ferry service via the Channel Islands. It has a cafe though, and in hindsight, yeah, we'd have probably skipped breakfast on board and eaten in here instead. It's a lot cheaper. Anyway, from here it's just a lovely 5-minute walk into St Malo, where you've got the morning to do what you want really. We decided first to have a walk out onto the breakwater to get some great views of the ship. Well, that was my idea, to be honest. I'm not sure Joe was that bothered. After that, we walked around the city walls and out to a couple of the little islands you can just see in the distance here. Worth pointing out that St Malo has a massive tidal range, so although they were obviously inaccessible at this time in the morning, a couple of hours later the sea had receded to reveal a fantastic beach and causeway you could use to reach them. When you book this trip, Brittany Ferries sends you all the details, and within the pack is a voucher for lunch telling you where it is and what time you booked in for. So, armed with the necessary documentation, we made our way towards the restaurant where our 12:30 reservation was waiting.
Right guys, so yeah, spent the morning in St Malo, and now it is time for lunch, and that is all included in the price of your ticket, by the way. So lunch for two at the Café de l'Ouest, which is just over my shoulder, and you can see it's just down there, and yeah, it's basically a 3-course lunch with an aperitif and coffee as well. Maybe have a cheeky glass of wine, I think. So we're going to go down there in a minute and wander in, and we'll show you what it's all about. We'll catch you in a bit.
Yeah, I've got to say I was a bit nervous about this bit because we don't normally eat in French restaurants that much when we go to France. We've mainly gone for self-catering in the past. Whilst it was a bit cold to be sitting outside, inside the restaurant looked really busy, so it was obviously a popular place. Anyway, we were greeted by a friendly waiter, and after saying we were on the Brittany Ferries Gourmet Cruise, we handed over the voucher, and she showed us to our reserved table. Absolutely no problem at all.
Fine guys, so yeah, inside the Café de l'Ouest, and we've just ordered our food. Vegetarian choice, I don't think is that well known by the establishment anyway, because you ordered vegetarian. Well, you asked for vegetarian, didn't you? And
yeah, and I'm having a mixed salad for my starter, followed by a mixed salad for my main course, because they basically don't have a vegetarian option at all. So we'll see what turns up, but I'm kind of expecting it might just be seasoning.
Yeah. Well, in the meantime, the aperitif, it does actually include a glass of wine, which we've gone for. So yeah, we'll get stuck into that, and yeah, cheers. Cheers, hello. We're going to tear you away from your social media, and yeah, good afternoon.
The wine was really nice, by the way. For a starter, I had a kind of a fish chowder, and Joe appeared to have a salad in a saucepan.
Right guys, so yeah, main course has arrived at the restaurant, and yeah, I don't think I'm going to be going hungry tonight. Well, I've got a whole chicken to eat for my lunch, which is more than I normally have. I normally only have cheese on toast. Joe, what have you got there then? Vegetarian option?
Some vegetables and some leaves. So there's some nuts, and there's something here that I don't know what it is. I'll have to look at it.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what, you can have my bread roll if you like. I'm going to manage all this. But yeah, I'll tell you what, let's tuck in, and we'll see how we go, shall we?
Yeah, worth pointing out that the Café de l'Ouest is a fish restaurant, really, and yeah, some of the dishes that were coming out, like the fish platters, looked absolutely amazing. If you like fish, of course. Anyway, time for dessert, and Joe had chosen the creme brulee, which was on fire. And I went for a massive bowl of profiteroles with ice cream and loads of chocolate sauce, which, I tried really hard to mash some of the profiteroles into, so it looked like I'd eaten more than I actually had. Right, Joe, so I think we've just about finished our dessert course, haven't we? As much as we're going to eat. I'll tell you what, I'm absolutely full to the brim and nearly going to burst in a minute. I can't wait anymore. What do you think of it from the point of view of a vegetarian, in terms of choice and quality of the food as well? I'd be interested to know.
I thought the food was nice. I was a bit disappointed that even though it was a set menu which you could choose from, that there wasn't a vegetarian choice there, and they kind of had to come up with something. And I was a bit worried that I was just going to get kind of 2 portions of the same thing. So it was good that it wasn't. I mean, in an ideal world, it would have been a hot food choice, but they didn't have anything else. But yeah, it was nice, and I mean, I'm full too. I can't finish my dessert, so yeah, so it's all good.
Yeah, and that's the thing, isn't it? I think, in terms of what Brittany Ferries actually offer on this Gourmet Cruise, as they like to call it, you're certainly not going to go hungry. And I think, value for money was really, really, really good. I'll tell you how much it cost us in a little while. But yeah, just waiting for coffee now, so once that comes and that's been consumed, there'll be time for a good walk to try and lose a few pounds of things that I feel like I've just put on in the last couple of hours. Well, I'll catch you in a bit.
Yeah, I mentioned before about the tidal range, and the sea had risen again. The Condor Ferries Voyager was in port, and to enable this, Bretagne had to leave the dock, and from what I could gather, had just been hanging around on the horizon all day.
Right, guys, the sun is setting on St Malo this evening, and also our trip over here. We've had a great day. I tell you what, lunch was fantastic, wasn't it? I'm so full now, I don't think I can really eat much more this evening. We've got about an hour or so to go now. We're just going to make our way over to the terminal building and the port there, which you will see the berth is occupied by the Condor Ferries Voyager at the moment, so that's got to just clear out of the way, and then MV Bretagne is going to come in, and of course that's the ship that we're going to be getting on tonight.
And so the Voyager Fastcraft made its way out to sea, and it was now time for our ship to return. And what a beautiful view we had of this, sitting up on the city walls with lots of other people that had come to watch the sunset. It truly was a fantastic end to a great day. Now we stayed up here for a while really, watching Bretagne making its way into port, before it was time to take the short 10-minute walk back to the terminal building. We still had plenty of time to explore the ship, which, believe me, really is a classic, with some interesting and pretty unique features too. And we're also going to talk about price, but yeah, that's all to come in part 2 of this trip, and I hope you'll give that a watch too. In the meantime, guys, thanks for joining me on this voyage out to St Malo, and I'll catch you in the next video very, very soon. Cheers for now.